Hi guys, it's Jamie here. I just wanted to show you this, all right? Because a lot of people have asked me some questions about resin kits, garage kits. There's plenty of pictures about this particular model online, the finished item, painted, made, but there's I haven't seen any that will help people if they want to attempt to do a kit like this. For starters, if you're going to do a resin kit, there are certain things, in my opinion. Now, I'm making this video. This is my opinions and my experience, all right, and my time basically. But I didn't want to. I usually just write about what I've done, show you little bits, and then post the finished model. But on this occasion, I want to. I promised somebody I'd do a build up, and for the majority there'll be pictures and explanations and a write up. But on the outset, I wanted to do a small video because I felt it was important, especially for somebody who wants to do, who have brought this kit, especially the Monsters in Motion. I'll show you this. Fireball Xl5. Okay. Firstly, when I call them garage kits, they cost a lot of money if you're buying them. I had this as part of a commission payment, but I went on to the Monsters in Motion website. This, to get this in England, you're looking at over 200 quid easily. And what do you get? You get a chunk of resin parts, parts that may be broken, parts that have a lot of sanding to be done and filling to be done. And it basically, to get these specialised models, there's a lot of work involved. This is why when I do one of these kits, I always do it while I'm doing other jobs, because they take so long. Especially if you want it to turn out really, really good, you've got to spend the time on them. There's a few questions I want to answer now on the way I do things, and some of you may have already done these things. Some of you who very experienced, have experience like I have experience. I've got over like 40 years experience in modelling. I want this to be for somebody who's got a little bit of knowledge, but they want to build out of the box. I can't scratch build, but I do like doing now and again a garage build kit. That means it's a built kit made of resin that's not on mass production. This is why they cost so much. And like I said, there's a lot of work to be done, and working with resin is different to working with plastic. There's a new set of rules. Gluing them together, what do you use? Do you use epoxy glue? Do you do a mixture of a resin glue? It's all lots and lots of choices. What paints do you use for resin? What base paints do you use? A lot of it's trial and error, because every kit is different. I've used paints on some kits that have taken, and then on other kits they haven't. So I basically end up mixing my own colours in the end of what I think. People say, a lot of the time I use Tamiya, or if I haven't got the colour, it's a Pacific colour, and I have to use the Tamiya. I need the colour in the Tamiya can. I decant it, and then that's another story, but I won't go into that. But let's go on with this then. So the first is, do you need to, the prep work. There's a lot, before you can even think about painting these kits, there's a lot of prep work. There's a lot of filling, there's a lot of sanding. It can take you days and days and days to do one piece, to make it look right before you even think about painting it. The first thing you must understand about a resin garage kit is forget your painting straight away. Get that out of your head. Painting is the last thing you're ever going to do on these. And don't even bother thinking, oh, I'll do this piece and I'll paint it and I'll stick it on. Forget about that idea, yeah? Because you'll end up getting yourself in a lot of trouble. Smaller pieces you can paint and glue on after, but the majority of the big pieces to most garage kits need to be stuck together while it's in the condition where it's easy to glue together. Once you start getting paint into these grooves, it becomes a different matter. Cleaning up, scraping it out, making sure that there's no paint in there at all before you can start gluing back on again. The other thing is, the very first job we do all your pieces is wash them. I wash these in a soapy water and then I let them dry naturally. That can take about 4 or 5 days sometimes. It depends on the resin, it depends where it is. I put them near a radiator, not on the radiator, but you know, so the heat's getting to them and they just dry out. And then that is done. Then I look around and you will get pieces that come like this. So you have bits of resin on the edges, on the sides. It all needs to be cleaned off, sanded. Half the time you clean these pieces off, or you've got pieces like on the back of here where you've got pieces of the resin missing. You've got to fill those and build them up. A bit of, you know, scratch building. You've got to smooth these edges off. It's a lot. It's not a faint-hearted job, these garage kits. But for a subject matter that the kit that you get, and it's a subject matter that you like, and you know, there's usually, these are like so many in production and they stop doing them, and they're not like a Revell or a Airfix. They come and go. You know, there might be a run of these and when the mould's done, or the resin mould, whatever, then it's done. And this is why they cost such a lot of money to people who buy them, because they're not going to get a complete kit as in ready-made. But at the end of the day, they're a lot cheaper than some of these kits I've seen that you buy in these magazines, where you know you get an enterprise for like £2,500. But you know, but you're just literally, you know, you build those kits. These you've got a lot of work on. Now, I actually clean this piece up before I glue this on. This is like the top fin piece to the Fireball Xl5. But if you notice, I've still got loads and loads of work to do. Now this has been glued on with resin, excuse me. This has been glued in by resin down here. But because this is, when it comes out the resin mould, it's not exactly a perfect fit onto there. It's level, it's straight, yeah. But I've still got to now go over this and fill it again, but not with a resin-based filler. It'll be a softer filler that's going to go in there. I let it go rock hard off and I sand it so it blends into this. You know, it's not instant work. It's not an instant job to do, but I've got to make this fin look like it's in one. Yeah. But if I was to just plonk that on there with resin, it would have been kind of like, if I hold that there, it would have been, that's straight, right? So if I had to put that straight on as it was, it would have been like this. So that's why here, there is a little bit of a gap here. Because when it went against this part, it didn't quite fit. And I'd cleaned all underneath here, and then I put the resin along here. There's a groove in here, the resin goes, and but you're still left with this little bit of a gap here, as I've had to balance it up and make it straight. Now, before you ask me what do I use for gluing resin pieces together, well, I use a mixture of two. I found that it's really, really good stuff. It's called JB Quick Weld, and it comes in two. You get your hardener and then you get your glue, and you mix the two together. Now, the thing I like about these is normally when you mix these two for the resin glue, the bonding to go on, it's sort of like glued on quick. You've only got like not very long before it sets hard, but then you have to wait like 24, 48 hours for it to go rock hard. The thing I like about these, when you've mixed it up, you get about 6 minutes to play around with the putting the bonding agent on and then playing around with it to get it level and straight, and you hold it in a position for the 6 minutes and it goes rock hard solid, but it's not totally cured. This is rock hard solid. As you see, I've dropped it but it's not cured, and that means that the resin is gone off. But if I really force this, really force it, I could probably break that off. So it's not totally cured. So that means now I've just got to leave that now. It'll be left there for about 2 or 3 days just to go off. And this is what I mean about the resin kits. They do take a long time to do. You can't rush them. It's, you know, it's a lot of hard work. You get pieces. This is the engine part at the back, but this is where it's been cut off the mould. So you have to get your saw. You can't do it with a knife because it's resin, and it makes a lot of mess if you try and sand that really flat. So if I tried to put that on there at the moment, you're going to end up with it like that. So, and that's supposed to lay flat against there. This part here, the bottom part groove goes into that groove and it's flat. Then you glue it, but you can't do that because I've got to cut that off. So this is what I meant by saying there's a lot of work. The next question is, how am I going to stick this to this? So I had an idea, and then I spotted somebody left me a message when I put on Facebook that I was building this kit, and I thought, how the hell did it, I've got an idea about this, and they got back to me and they wrote on my page that they'd used magnets, and I was thinking about magnets, and I thought, yeah, and the picture of his, it was all together, and I thought, well, yeah, now trying to figure out how I do it. So I didn't get back to him. I just wanted to see if I could do it myself, knowing that the magnets worked. Now, on the inside of here, you have bits you got to clean off, and here. And what I've used these you can buy them 12 at a time, 20 at a time, small magnets. And what I did, this inside is not solid, it's hollow. As you can see, these seams here, it's been like put together. So I drilled out the internal, having the magnets all together. I used 4 because it's what I did to fit it in there. You're holding it instead of getting the magnet and getting the resin. I'll call it the resin glue. And I drilled out. Then I put the adhesive in there, the resin adhesive. And then, instead of pushing the magnet in and trying to get it to hold, I connected it to, there's 4 on there originally, so I connected it like that, pushed it in, let the 6 minutes go off, settled it, slid off the others, like so, tied it up around the edge a little bit. Obviously I've still got a lot more work to do on this, and basically that's what I did on the other side. I've drilled out the hole. Now this is solid, and all I've done is use a normal drill with a. I use it for cutting plastic. It's this one here. So it cuts plastic. I use it for plastic and all things like that. It's a drill bit. Goes in your Dremel or whatever you want to use, and just hold it and then screw it round and round until you get your depth. And then you try your magnet. You put your resin glue in. Again with the magnets, hold it in like so. Let it dry off. After 6 minutes, peel away your magnets. These are really good magnets, by the way. They're hard and, you know, lockable. And then clean around the edge. Obviously, I've now got some filling to do around here because you can see where I've glued it in. But the outcome of this is you get a connection that goes like this. Watch. So now you have Fireball Xl5 with the part of the engine on the front. Can't remember what the name of they call it at the moment. My mind's concentrating on this video, so I've gone blank. But there is a name for this part from the series. But now it's detachable as it should be. When you get this kit, it just comes with the two halves. And I presume the ones I've seen so far, a lot of people have just glued this onto here and added it onto the launching pad, as in Fireball Xl5 launching off. But I really did want to have it, so I pull that and it'll come away. So yeah. So if you're building this and you want to pinch this idea of using a small magnet, which are these, which you can get on eBay, 10 a penny, they're not very much, but they're very, very strong. But you have to make sure that they are strong holding magnets, small, strong holding. I think they're about, what, ½ an inch thick, if that. But they work excellently well, as you can see. Now, for my final part of this build, for now, and the final part that I'm using for what I want to talk about and help people who do want to have a go at doing a resin kit, especially want to build the Monsters of Motion XL5, the Fireball XL5, because I just feel that, you know, nobody's done a proper build on this one. They show you their finished models, but nobody's actually explained, you know, how they build this. And I think some people want to buy this and they get it and they think, well, how do I do it? Because for the instructions, I'll just do this. This is what you get. There's no great depth. It shows you that those go on there, that goes on there. These go on the ends there, and the engine goes on the back there. And then the next sheet is how you put your base together. All right. Simple to follow, but it doesn't say what to use, what needs sanding, you know, how do you glue them in. None of that. It just gives you the basic. This is what goes there, that goes there. I mean, this rail, it doesn't even explain that properly, how that goes. It's just got to point out. You've got to sort of guess how that goes. But it technically goes from there, that way, on both sides. Which, from there, looks like this, as you can see, right? Those are the rails. And the leg parts, the struts, again, are these pieces, right? But again, still got to be cleaned up. sanded, filled. See? This is where the work comes in. If you go too erratically and too fast, then you're liable to... It's very soft, this material. Some of it, when you're trying to chuck chunks off it, it's rock hard. But if you're on the face of things like that, it's very, very soft. And you have to be... You can't just, you know, scrape it away, because you'll end up like dipping into the actual resin itself. I use these. These are like different grades of sanding. I think this one's a 4600, and all I do is just give it a nice gentle sand down, and I just keep doing this, and I keep checking it by my eye until I get the part nice and smooth. So that's a little hint, you know, just take your time with these. Don't think about rushing this. If you're eager to get them built, like you want to work on it, and unlike a plastic kit where there's not so much, you might have a bit of flash, you might have a couple of things that, you know, you need to repair or fix or sand down a bit. But a resin kit needs to be meticulously sanded and filled, and it takes time. So if you're contemplating on getting a resin kit, remember that. Now the final sheet, there's only 3 sheets on this, all right? You get, this is the tells you how to fix together the rail. It's like the runners that the Fireball XL sits on top. So you've got to build all that up to fit onto this base, which actually is pretty good. I'm well impressed with the base. There's not much missing on this. There's not much cleanup to do. So yeah, on the base at the bottom, I'm going to put some velvet, some green velvet to make it a proper smooth pad. A bit of sanding, and then paint this. And this is where these rods go, as per the instructions. See? They'll get glued in there. Again, not with ordinary glue, not with super glue. These will be glued in with these. The whole thing's going to be glued in with this, except for the canopy. Now, I was reading about, you know, what some people have put about how they've done the canopy on this, and it comes in a Veriform plastic pieces, 2 of them, and they said, oh no, they've not used them because they can't cut them to sizes, or they've messed them up. And all I can say is I got mine, and for me, I don't understand what the problem is on these, because they are basically, now these came sticking down here. They had an edge on about that big. See what my finger is? All the way around. A massive edge like that. So all I did was I marked up this piece, and then I scribed where I needed to cut. And I haven't cut this to the blade. All I've used is, simple as it sounds, a pair of scissors. All you need to do, you need to just hold it, get where you want to cut it. This came as a solid back as well. This was filled in, so you have to cut round this, and then you cut round this bit. Just use your scissors, take your time and snip it. It doesn't split, doesn't crack. And when you're done, obviously this is going to be cleaned up with some stuff after, but when you're done and you fit it, it's not painted yet, it will look pretty good. And that's all I've done with that, is cut it with scissors. Nothing special. All I've done is took my time, marked up where it's got to be cut properly, and then cut it with the scissors. Okay? And the same goes with this little bubble on top. You know, a little bubble canopy on the top here. So this goes on here. And again, I can't fit it because I'm not gluing it on yet. But again, basically all I've done is cut it with scissors. That's all it takes. Just take your time with a very sharp pair of scissors and you will have perfect canopy fit. The only thing you have to do with these is you have to clean them up a little bit, because you get little like marks on them and they're not always 100% clear. They look clean, but I'm going to give these a nice little polish up after. The only decals you get for this are black Xl5 and a white Xl5. That's the only two decals. So there you go. I don't make many of these videos, but I thought it was important that I see, I've got a seam here too to fill. And yeah, it's like I said to you, there's a lot of work to be done in these resin kits. So this is a kind of one-off video because I haven't got the setup to work and build this, and it's going to be done over weeks and months and whatever, whenever I've got a spare moment or I'm not working on something else, and I'm going to spend some time on this, because this one's this is, as I said, it's a payment for a job I did because I like this one, and this one's going in my collection. So this is for me, so I can fit this into other things. But as I do progress in this, I am going to make a picture explanation like I have done with all my other builds. I just wanted to make a short, quick video and hopefully give you some helpful information and the process that goes through making a garage resin kit like this. And I hope the magnet bit helps, you know, and how I've glued these on and what I've used. And you know, a little bit of insight into the process of doing the work on the Xl5, the Fireball. If you like this video, and I have done others on my YouTube page. A lot of you have had to follow them on various different models. I'll be posting this on there too, so if you ever you are building this model and you want a little bit of insight of, oh, well, how do I get that together, what do I do, then you know the option there will be when you type in Xl5, Fireball Xl5, hopefully it'll come up on YouTube with the video, this video, and then you can clip onto my Facebook page and watch how I describe what I've used and how I've painted and built it and glued it, and you know. So there you are, guys, a little insight to the Monsters of Motion Fireball Xl5 build. As you see, a long way to go before we get to the finished product. Hope you've enjoyed the video. It's great to actually talk to you guys for change instead of just reading your many comments that come my way. Thank you for the big thanks for all the comments that you give me, because they do make me feel, you know, I'm doing something on the Facebook page to help people. And I don't just want to post pictures of finished models. I want to try and help people if I can, because, you know, I'm not getting any younger, and there's a lot of younger people that are not interested in modelling, and through videos like this and working on Facebook and the World Wide Web, hopefully people be able to pick things up and hopefully enjoy it as much as us older modelers. So thanks for watching, and I shall hopefully at some point make another video, and I'll say goodbye. Catch you later.